Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to day 26 of my Speaking in English for 60 Days challenge. I've just finished studying about countable and uncountable nouns, and today I'd like to talk about it. They look pretty simple, but they can be tricky sometimes. They're also known as count noun and non-count noun. Alright, let's get started. First of all, what is noun? Noun can be anything we see. It can be living room, people, cities, food, and also it can be our feelings like love, anger, sad. There are two types of noun, countable and uncountable nouns. Let's start with countable nouns. Countable nouns are the nouns that we can actually count. Since it's countable, there is singular and plural. When we describe about a single noun, we use singular, and when we describe more than one noun, we use plural. For example, one book, 10 books. One box, 3 boxes. A battery, 4 batteries. But did you notice when we change noun to plural, there are endings like s, es, and ies? How do we change it? It's actually simple. When you change a normal noun to plural, you just add s at the end. For example, like book, books, cup, cups, bag, bags. And the nouns that end with s, x, ch, sh, you can simply add es at the end. For example, churches, buses, boxes, brushes. If a noun ends with y, you simply add ies. For example, ladies, cities, and babies. Isn't that simple? So all you gotta know is that there are two forms of nouns in countable noun, singular and plural nouns. Now let's talk about uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns are actually very simple. They do not have singular or plural. They only have one form. For example, like information. We don't say informations. Homework, we cannot count homework, right? We don't say a homework or two homework. And furniture, we do not say 3 furnitures. But how do we know which nouns are countable and uncountable? Well, countable nouns are quite simple, the one that we can see and we can count. For uncountable nouns, we cannot actually count them. For example, like things in group. Rice, we cannot count 1 rice, 2 rice, right? Rice, sugar, salt, sand, we cannot count them. We cannot take only 1 sand or only 1 sugar. And our emotions, love, anger, happiness, can we actually count them? Like, I feel 1 happiness, or I feel 1 angry, or 2 angries. And of course, liquids, water, coffee, juice, wine, we can't count them. And last but not least, food that are a general category. For example, like bread, meat, fish, dairy products. They're just categories. Bread can be croissant, buns, etc. Meat can be chicken, beef, pork. Dairy products, yogurt, cheese. For example, I love coffee. We can't say I love coffees. And I accidentally spilled juice all over my shirt. We cannot say juices. But there is exceptions. If you think about containers like 2 cups of coffee or a box of juice, of course you can count them. Overall, I think they both are quite simple, and there is irregular plural nouns. For example, child, in plural, children. Man, in plural, men. Woman, in plural, women. And tooth, in plural, teeth. Foot, in singular, feet, in plural. They are totally different. So how do we change it? And when do we change it? Well, you just have to memorize them. There is no system to change those words because they are irregular. I suggest that you go and check online the common irregular nouns. So don't try to memorize everything. Just try to memorize the common ones only. Finally, we're going to talk about many and much. Many is basically used for countable nouns, and much is used for uncountable nouns. For example, many people have cars. How many apple trees do you have? How many eggs do we have? For uncountable nouns, how much money do you make? We don't have much furniture in our house. He is much happier in a new town. And there is another one, a lot of. We can use a lot of for both countable and uncountable nouns. For example, a lot of people have cars. He has a lot of money. We have a lot of eggs. He drank a lot of water. Alright, that's all for the video, guys. You can comment 3 countable nouns and 3 uncountable nouns in the comment. See you tomorrow. Bye.